In today's Razorback Daily, the Hogs are in Providence, and so is our guy Z. Plus, we'll hear from Boogie, Fland, and Jonas Aidoo. It's Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. I'm Quinn Grovey alongside my man Matt Zimmerman, and you're listening to the Razorback Daily.
All right, Quinn Grovey, here we are on this Wednesday. Razorbacks are one day closer to starting this NCAA tournament and hopefully an NCAA tournament run. 10th seeded Razorbacks versus number 7 Kansas tomorrow night right here in Providence, Rhode Island. Quinn and Tara, they had to wait on to get organized. I appreciate their patience. Quinn, we took off early Tuesday morning. I like that. We flew out of XNA. We took one big plane, and we had the band and the cheerleaders. They don't take everybody, but the NCAA allows like 30, band, cheer, mascot, all that to go. And so we had a good flight, no problems. Flew right to Providence. It was about 2.5 hours.
That's not bad.
No, they said it'd be 2:31, and of course I time everything. It was 2:33. So great job by the pilots and the crew. They were right on how long it was going to take. And then we ran by the hotel for literally 15 minutes. And then the team and we all went to practice, and we went to Providence College. And Quinn, it was a special treat for me because as soon as I walk in, I'm on bus 2 all the time. I walk in the arena, and there's I hear my name called, and I look to my right, and it's Coach Cal walking with Kim English. Kim is the head coach at Providence. And I helped recruit him at Missouri. I used to go to Fitchburg, Massachusetts, called Notre Dame Prep. Michael Beasley was a great player that played at Notre Dame Prep. And this was a little preparatory school in New England. And we recruited, and Coach Anderson really wanted Kimmy very hard. We were at Missouri at the time, and we got Kimmy. And then I got to coach him as an assistant coach for 3 years. And he's now the head coach at Providence. And I told him we were going to be, he knew we were practicing there. So to get to hang out with him, and his daughters were there. And Quinn, it made me feel good because he's got the cutest little daughters. And both, one, I'd say they're like 7 or 8 and maybe, 5 or 6 type thing. And I give him a big hug. And Kimmy told him, he said, girls, if it wasn't for this guy, y'all wouldn't be here. And boy, they got all confused and funny looking. And they were like, why? What's he got to do with it? And he said, because he helped recruit me and get me to Missouri. And he said, that's where I met your mom. And we had you too. So that made me feel good. We had a great time. And then I watched, we had a really good practice.
Is he not in the NIT or anything?
No, unfortunately he's not. He was a bubble team last year. And I was looking back at the notes on the internet article. The first teams out in 2024 was number 1, Oklahoma. Number 2, St. John's. Patino didn't get in last year. And number 3 was Providence. They were a bubble team. Razorbacks, Quinn. I know it's everybody's worried about. They look good. Boogie looked good. It was a good hour and 55-minute practice. Some guys stayed afterwards, got a bunch of shots. DJ got a bunch of extra shots up. Nelly got a bunch of extra shots up. It was good. And I thought it was a really good practice. And then they were going to go up to, what was that hill that Pat said, Tara? Freedom Hill? The team was going there for dinner. I didn't get to go. Freedom Hill, whatever it was that Pat Bradley talked about. There's a bunch of Italian restaurants up there, and they were going there. Coach is all about that. And it was good. So today we'll get a 40-minute practice in what we used to call the Dunkin' Donuts Arena. It's now been taken over by another company, but everybody around here still calls it the Dunk. But we'll be going to wherever the name of this arena is, formerly called the Dunk. And then we will also have a practice at Brown. Is that Brown University or Brown College? I'm not sure. But we're going to Brown. Let's call it. It's definitely not the University of Brown, is it, Tara? I think it's. Is it
Why are you
Brown?
always asking me instead of Quinn? You never want to quiz Quinn. Brown University is in Providence, Rhode Island. Yes.
Thank you. See, that was not that hard. We're going to go there and practice. So we'll have 2 practices today because you only get 40 minutes on the court. And so that'll be good. And then get them a good meals, Quinn, eat good, rest, and get a big night's sleep tonight. Tomorrow night is the Razorbacks versus the tradition-rich Kansas Jayhawks, a Kansas team that's a little bit down compared to what Kansas is used to be. Quinn, I saw a deal in 20 years he's been there or whatever, 22 years, whatever. He's never been worse than a 4 seed, Bill Self, and he's a 7 seed. This is uncharted waters for the Kansas Jayhawks. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in this ball game. And we're still going to get to talk about it one more day before we play. But, DeJuan Harris is he's the one guy that played well against us. He didn't play well against us in Des Moines, I didn't think. Kind of sprained his ankle. He had a good game in Des Moines, but not a great game. And Devo really went to work on those guards. He's still there. But DeJuan from Columbia, Missouri, tough, experienced guard, small, about 6'1", skinny. He played well against us in Bud Walton. The rest of that team did not. And the one part of that is, Quinn, they will be motivated because we've beaten them the last 2 times we've played. The last one was a blowout as an exhibition. And you're saying, we talked about this already this week, Hunter Dickinson didn't play. Mm-hmm. Well, Jonas Aidoo didn't play. You're saying, well, we don't have Aidoo Thero, but Aidoo was coming off a little knee bothering back then. And Aidoo Thero, or back, was it his lower back? Whatever it was, Aidoo Thero played very little, had 2 points, started, but he was ineffective against Kansas. He had 2 points. We'd have beat him without Aidoo Thero there. But now we add Jonas. We've got a healthy Boogie. He's healthy, folks. I watched him 2 practices now. He's fine. And and then you throw in Hunter Dickinson to the mix. It'll be interesting to watch this game. I think the Hogs will play a man-to-man. We might throw you some zone. You never know. Coach has been kind of messing around with that, maybe to try to defend Dickinson that way. But definitely, as
a coach, do you even go back and look at the tape of that exhibition game?
Yes, because it's just a bonus in your pocket. Yes, go back. Now, Kansas is probably going back and looking at it much more than we are, Quinn. Kansas is probably studying that film a lot and probably using some as motivation. But for the Razorbacks, definitely go back, watch these tendencies. Hey, Billy didn't play well in this game. Billy, here's where you struggled in this Kansas game. Here's what you got to do better. DJ had 24 points. DJ, look at you just whooping them off the dribble, attacking the basket, shooting layups. Kansas probably hadn't gotten more athletic since October. And DJ's super healthy right now. DJ could have a huge game. He had a huge game against them. So I do think you watch the film, you study that, you use it to your advantage. Now, you don't want to sit there and tell your team over and over again, guys, we smacked these guys pretty good. I mean, you can't be overconfident or you get beat. But I do think you use it. Guys, we have beaten them. Mm-hmm. Now, we also beat them where at, Quinn?
Oh, yeah.
We beat them in the friendly confines of Bud Walton Arena.
That's all right. You still did it, though. I mean,
you still did it. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big thing when you talk about. I mean, like when you play teams like, traditional powers like a Kansas, North Carolina, Duke, Arkansas. I don't care where you play them. If you can take them down, then that's a good situation to be in. Now, I know there was an exhibition game, and I know everybody didn't have everybody, but we're going to still take credit for it. That's what I love about exhibition games. If you win them, you take credit. If you lose them, they don't count. And so I love that aspect of it. But I think that game set, I don't want to say unrealistic expectations for this basketball team because everybody thought we weren't going to lose after that.
Right.
Me included. And so I think it's even better for this team to have that happen, fight through what they fought through, and now you just got a whole nother reset. And so now this is just really about it's when to go home. And I think this Arkansas basketball team is going to come out guns blazing. I think they're going to be ready to go. I think Kansas will be in a tough situation. I know you say they're going to be motivated, but I just don't know that they have. I just don't know if they have the. I hate to say it. I just don't know if they got enough talent to take care of us. So I'm riding with the Hogs all day long. I think they handle Kansas. I just think they're going to give them fits. I think those guards again. I mean, Bill Self has got to be saying, what in the world? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong in life for Boogie Fland to be coming back as soon as we play them in the tournament? I mean, you got to be kidding me. They've been playing with shorthanded at the guard position all this time, and now you get Boogie Fland back. That is Bill Self has got to be going, man, let's get this year over with. For sure.
Well, I hope that's what he's thinking. And but you're right. We've had a lot of good fortune. Remember, Bill Self had the heart attack issue, the heart issues, and we didn't have to face him. He's a pretty good basketball coach. We didn't have to face him in 2023. I think they probably beat us in that game because they were close to beating us anyway. Yeah. I think if you put their head coach in there, that's nothing against Anthony Black, Jordan Walsh, or Eric Musselman. That's just my opinion. This team is not as good as that. That Kansas team was a 1 seed, folks.
Yeah.
This Kansas team is not. This Kansas team right now is 15 points less of a team than that Kansas team we played. Now, can we rise up and have a great game and beat them? Absolutely, but we're going to have to prove it on the court. And I don't know, that a lot can happen. I just think it's going to boil down to energy, the aggressiveness in this game, and who can make shots. We could be the most aggressive. We could outplay them, and we may not be able to hit shots. But an old coach told me a long time ago, if you're a little better than somebody else and you're attacking the basket and you're driving it, and maybe you're a little faster than them, maybe you're a little more athletic than them, you don't need to shoot good. You're going to be shooting layup. You're going to be dunking the basketball. You're going to be dunking the ball. You can be flying above the rim and dunking. You don't have to worry about making a 10-footer. You don't have to worry about making a 20-footer. So I think that will be very important. But we'll get to talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. It's going to be a really good game, folks. Hey, these games are good. The first 4 games have been interesting to watch. There's 2 more first 4 games tonight. Texas is going to be playing Xavier tonight. That's the high That'll be a good ball game, but there was pretty good games last night in the first 4 games. And then, folks, on Thursday early, you're just going to be getting going. Your day is going to be about 10 o'clock in Arkansas. And you're not going to be quite ready for basketball yet.
Oh, we're going to be ready. We're going to be ready.
Okay. But it's going to be 11 o'clock on the East Coast. And you're going to pick your phone up and you're going to see that the first game, the score is 8-6 because they already playing at 11 a.m.
Love it.
Get to a TV. There's going to be buzzer beaters. There's going to be March Madness. There's going to be all kinds of intensity. I mean, guys desperate to win. And folks, watch these referees. They're not trying to do anybody wrong, but now you're going to have teams playing in front of referees that they may not have had this year. Usually in the NCAA tournament, we still have 1 or 2 referees that we've had during the regular season. But sometimes you do have someone from a different conference and you'll have different referees. How do the teams adjust to how these referees call it? The SEC used to call it tight as a banjo. But now the SEC has kind of let up the last 3 years, and it's been a little bit more physical. Now there's times we still have 50 fouls in a game. There's no doubt. The SEC can be like any other game. They call it different at times. But our league has been letting people, our coaches at least, feel like the league has been rougher this year. And so is that going to bode well for us and we beat everybody's butt? Or is it going to be a little bit tougher for SEC teams to adjust? And I can't wait. I can't wait for these games, Quinn. It's going to be exciting.
Let me ask you this, OZ. I'm going to ask you this question. When I look at all these coaches, or I look at these brackets, is there in any other region, is there more star power in the first round than there is in Providence from the coaches? I mean, like,
oh no.
I mean, that's big time star power.
Yeah. Big time star power. I mean, even, when you look at like Duke, I mean, he's a good coach, Shire. But he's a young guy. He hasn't been to a Final Four yet. He doesn't have that power. And, you talk about in this one, Providence, Rhode Island, there's 3 coaches, 2 of them Italian, kind of, East Coast traditional coaches. been around a long time, Catholic guys. They've coached a lot of games.
Yeah.
As many games as really anybody other than a few of the old timers that have retired, like Coach K. And these guys, they want to win. And it will be this pod with these 3 national championship coaches, Patino, Coach Cal, and Self.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them have had bumps in the road in their careers. 3 of them have faced scrutiny before. 3 of them have stood on the podium and held the national championship trophy. They've won many conference championships, conference tournament championships. And, there's no star power like the star power of this. But as you do your brackets, good luck to all you folks picking. Don't forget about the Tennessee Vols. I think that's an older team. I think they're going to be good. Of course, Florida, really, really good. To me, that's the 2 best teams out there. I don't know about Duke. I have questions in my mind about Duke, and I think they have a pretty tough draw. And if Cooper Flagg's not very healthy, that's going to impact them. He is good. He's the real deal. Is he the best player in the country? I don't know about that, but he's you can argue that he definitely is. And Auburn Auburn's tough, but they have definitely struggled here lately. They have a bravado about them. They have an attitude about them that they're going to right the ship, and they probably will. They're tough. But you lose at home to Alabama, and then you lose like they did in the conference tournament. They got beat at Texas A&M late in the year. They just weren't as good the last 2 weeks as they were, but they dominated the league. They still went 15-3 in the conference. But watch them. You have to make a decision on what they're going to do. There's going to be so many great games. I think the SEC is going to roll. And we have 20% of the field. We've talked about that, Quinn. So, folks, if you have 20% of the field, you're going to win a lot of games. And how many can we get to San Antonio? I think we can get 3. Pat Bradley said we're going to get 5. But, Quinn, what do you think of the Final Four? Do you think we can get 3?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I've looked at the brackets, and I've looked at teams that I think could come out of the SEC. I'm not sure. I'm not big on Auburn. I'm not big on Tennessee like you are. I think both those teams are they're going to struggle. I just don't see it. Now, Florida's game is built. They got bigs, and they got that Clayton guy that can flat shoot. Tennessee, I mean, if Lanier is not doing his thing, I'm not big on that. I love little Bow Wow. I love him. I love him. But other than that, man, I just don't see any opportunity for a Tennessee or Auburn to make it. I'm not really big on Alabama, especially if Grant Nelson continues to struggle.
He's hurt, and he's hurt, Quinn. He's hurt.
That's gonna be a problem. So I think your top 3 or 4 seeds, I think 3 to 4 are in trouble. I think Auburn's in trouble. I think Tennessee's in trouble. I think Alabama's in trouble. Yeah. I think Florida's the best out of all of those. And you just never know what other teams are going to catch fire. But we're a team that could catch fire. I don't see a Missouri catching fire. I don't see a Mississippi State catching fire.
Yeah.
So we can catch fire, but I'm just telling you right now, Auburn, their guards are too reckless in my opinion. I know they're solid, but they're hot-headed. They'll shoot it. They just and Broom, he's a big guy that can make some plays, but hey, Florida's a team that I really feel strongly about, but I think those other guys, they're in trouble.
I like what you're saying there. Quinn, Joe Lenardi in Tulsa, when I went to that event on Monday that SJ Toohey had me at that ORU event, very nice event at Southern Hills Country Club. What an honor to be there in Southern Hills. Quinn, Joe Lenardi said, folks, they've got a very tough draw, but he was really high on Maryland, 25-8. They've got a really, really good player. They got a big that's pretty good. They start with Grand Canyon, who's good, and then they're going to have Memphis or Colorado State. Most of us on the panel, a couple of us said Memphis, a couple said Colorado State. Scotty Thurman said Memphis is going to beat Colorado State. He said Memphis is going to smack Maryland. So that was opposite of what Joe Lenardi said. But Lenardi was really high on Maryland. That's going to be a game in the second round this weekend. If Memphis gets by Colorado State, Colorado State's pretty good. And then the winner of the Maryland-Memphis/Colorado State game would have to play in the Sweet 16 against the Florida, UConn, Oklahoma winner.
Well, they're going home.
Yeah, they're probably going home. Yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Quinn, another team that people are high on, I just don't know, is Texas Tech, the 3 seed in the West. They got Wilmington in the first game. Wilmington's good. Buddy of mine used to coach her. He told me, he said, UNC Wilmington is the real deal. And last year, they beat Coach Cal at Kentucky. Now they got some different players. But watch that Texas Tech Wilmington game. That could be interesting. So, there's just so much. And we may have said this yesterday on the Daily, but I want to reemphasize it. I think the 1 seeds have a tougher second game than the 2 seeds. Now, I think the 2 seeds have a tougher first game. But I think let's go over these real quick. In the South, Quinn, Auburn's going to have Louisville or Creighton. If they got Louisville, they're playing them an hour away in Lexington. The 2 seeds, Michigan State, they're going to have New Mexico or Marquette. I'll take my chances. Marquette's good. Florida's going to have UConn or Oklahoma. The 2 seeds, St. John's, they're going to have it tough.
I don't know why you keep saying Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma is going to get blasted. They got UConn. Just mark Oklahoma off your list.
Okay. and St. John's is going to get beat by Kansas or Arkansas. Both Arkansas and Kansas, to me, will beat St. John's, folks. They're good. They're 30-4. I've been talking to these East Coast people in Providence, and Providence plays St. John's twice. I talked to the coaches. They brag on how this is what they said. Tough. They're gritty. They got good-sized guards. I had another guy tell me here at the hotel, he said St. John's they just got a toughness to them. They're physical. They beat you up. They all talked about that stuff. And they almost all said they don't shoot it very good. This is not a big scoring team at St. John's. What St. John's is going to try to beat you with, when I've watched them on TV, is driving to the hoop.
And defense.
And defense. But guess what people don't do very well against Arkansas? 7'2", 6'11", 6'11", 6'9". They don't drive it to the hoop very good. I think that's going to hurt them. And I think that's why. And if for some reason we don't get a win, I think Kansas would also beat St. John's. Let's look at the other side real quick before we're done. In the East, Duke, the 1 seed, they're going to have a tough second game, folks. Mississippi State or Baylor. If both of them shoot the ball well, they can beat Duke. The bottom team is number 2, Alabama. They got Robert Morris. That won't be easy. And then they got St. Mary's or Vandy. Come on. I grew up in St. Mary's Catholic Church in St. Vincent. They're not beating Alabama in the second round.
Oh, you can sign me up for that one. If I'm Alabama, I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I think that out of the 2 seeds, they got the best draw.
Yeah.
Alabama got the best. Let's see if they take advantage. And then last but not least, the Midwest, okay? Houston, the second game is going to be Gonzaga. First off, they play Edwardsville. Edwardsville's in trouble. And then they're going to play Gonzaga or Georgia. That's not an easy second round game. If I'm Houston, I want to play Georgia. But Gonzaga, I think, is going to smack the Georgia Bulldog. I just do. No offense to Georgia. And then the bottom is number 2 seed Tennessee, who I really like, 27-7. Just got beat in the conference tournament championship game. Their second game is going to be UCLA or Arizona State. I'd rather play UCLA or Arizona State than Gonzaga or Georgia. I just think the 2 seeds got a better deal this year than the 1 seeds, but it is going to be so awesome. The tournament has already started. Today is day 2 of the first 4. And then all of the high volume action hits on Thursday. It is exciting, exciting, exciting. helping you succeed the rice way. The BASF rice crop production portfolio offers the widest range of protection against weeds, providing you with reliable weed control to safeguard yield potential and to help preserve your crop quality. When you face with tough weeds, you can trust that we have your back. Always read and always follow label directions. BASF. Home is more important than ever, and Arvest Bank is here to help you with all of your home loan needs for a new home, a refinance, or maybe making improvements to your current home. Get started today at arvest.com/home. For me, equal housing lender. All loans are subject to credit approval. Whether you're seeking relief from everyday aches and pains or looking to maintain that healthy, active life that we all want so much, The Joint Chiropractic can help you. The Joint offers a $29 new patient special. Includes an exam, consultation, and adjustment. Walk-ins are always welcome, open evenings and on weekends to fit your busy schedule. The Joint has locations across Little Rock and across Northwest Arkansas to make chiropractic care a convenient part of your routine. Visit thejoint.com. The Joint Chiropractic. You're back, baby. All right, Quinn, so much going on. Hey, get on hogsplus.com. I was on there yesterday. So much good stuff. For all of you that are already subscribers, thank you. Thanks for all you do. Tell your buddies about it. It's a great value, $7.99. And if you go on there right now, use the code MM25, March Madness 25, and you get 25% off. Folks, it's $7.99 a month. You get 25% off of that. So go in there and check it out. We got some good clips for you, though, before we go today. We got this one. Boogie Fland back, looking good. Wow. Couldn't come back at a better time. Here's Boogie.
Through a couple of weeks that, I came back after I had my second doctor's appointment. Doctor kind of told me that I was clear, so, I just wanted to see how I felt, worked out, stuff like that, worked out a little bit while we was in Nashville. And, I kind of felt good, so I was talking to Matt about it. And so we got feedback from the doctor. He said, you're medically clear, so whatever you want to do, how you feel, it's really up to you. So, I kind of made the decision with my family. What we did in the last, few games that I was out, 15 games that I was out, we actually improved, we got better, we did so many phenomenal things, and I just want to respect what they've done and, just come in and try to help, not do too much, but just add on to what they're doing.
Quinn, very mature statements. And he said, I have a lot of respect for what they did without me. And he said they got better without me. And then he doesn't want to disrupt that. Pretty good statements by a great point guard.
Man, that's the kind of stuff that we know Boogie is going to play in the NBA. And that's the kind of stuff that general managers, head coaches, all those types of people, owners, they look at. And so I know it'd be easy for Boogie right there to be like, you know what, I'm just going to wait it on out. But I think people will respect from an NBA perspective, hey, man, this guy's going to do whatever it takes to help his team. He's a star. We know he's a star. He can be a star. But he's going to take a lesser role to figure out how to give this team another body, how this team is going to improve in the tournament. And so he understands that they've gotten better. He understands that they have roles, and it takes a selfless guy to really come back and say, hey, look, I'm gonna get in where I fit in. I mean, that is the best thing that you can flat out do. I got a chance to meet Boogie's mom and dad in Nashville. I was standing in the hotel and I mean,
she was, did?
Yeah, I got a chance to meet her and him, and I could see Boogie in him for sure. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. But it was so good to see them, and we didn't talk about Boogie coming back, but she was just really talking about how they were playing so well, and so now Boogie gets an opportunity to be a part of that. So I think it's a big deal for a superstar to say, hey, let me play wherever I can play, even if I don't get the minutes that I normally would get. To me, again, that's a testament not only to Boogie and his mom and dad, but that's also a testament to Cal, because Cal is a guy who's managed this whole thing all the way through. Only certain people can handle high-profile rosters like this. He's one of them, and again, you get an important piece back with the right mindset. Man, you never know where this can go, because when things get tough, things get really, really tough, and you need a bucket. Boogie can give you a bucket.
Ooh, he can give it to you. Yeah.
So I'm just saying it's good to have a guy like that you can put in and play. And I love what Pat Bradley said. He doesn't necessarily have to be, the point guard. You can play him at the 2, or you go heavy 3 guards and still let DJ run the point and just have Boogie as another guy that can handle the ball, that can do some things. So that clicked for me. That clicked for me in regards to allowing DJ to just stay in charge of the offense and then put Boogie in and let him do some other things. So that could be dangerous as well. So we'll see how that happens. But it's the arrow's pointing up for me with Arkansas with Boogie coming back.
Yeah, that's well said. And I agree with that, and so much good stuff. And we can't wait to see him play. It's going to be nice to be back to an 8-man rotation. It takes the pressure off Billy a lot, takes more pressure off DJ and Nelly. I don't think he's going to affect their minutes. He might affect a little bit of minutes from Billy, may take a couple of minutes from Carter. He might take a minute from DJ. He might take 1 minute from Nelly. That's nothing.
But you know what? I think that may help Billy. So Billy's done a great job being like the backup point guard. He's slipped into a role and done something that I didn't know if he was capable of doing. But now you've got Boogie, and so maybe Billy doesn't have to handle the ball as much in that second role, and he's gotten more comfortable slashing and dashing and doing all kinds of stuff. So maybe you limit the amount of touches that he has, like bringing the ball down the floor or outlet passes on the break and all that kind of stuff, and just allow him to be that guy that can just get to the rack and do a lot of stuff. So if he takes, I don't want to say takes minutes from Billy, but I just think it's one of those things where he's going to help Billy, and that's going to take pressure off of Billy, because if you're Billy and you're playing point guard, there was nobody else that could come back in. DJ had to come back in. Now you got another guy in Boogie that, that may change his mindset, or Cal's mindset, in regards to the turnovers if he had somebody else to put in. And so, but I think Billy's learned through a lot of things. I think these last 15 games have been so good for Carter and Billy Richmond, and the NCAA tournament is where it can all pay off, because those dudes are athletic as hell. Yeah. And so I'm just telling you just never know what can happen with a team like this. I'm just telling you.
No, you're right. And this is a team that could be in the Final Four. Arkansas could make a run towards a national championship. The bettors still, as of Tuesday, I asked one of our guys on the trip, I said, where's that? And he looked it up, and Arkansas still had like the 8th best odds not to beat Kansas, the 8th best odds to win the national championship. We're a 10 seed. Wow. There's 4 brackets. 10 times 4 is 40. So the committee is saying they're one of the top 40 teams. Bettors are saying they're one of the top 8, 9, 10 teams based on the money they're putting on who's going to win the national championship. I think that's amazing, Gwen.
That'd be incredible. But look, we've said it all year long. When you look at the roster, they don't have a bunch of just slappies. They've got guys that can flat out play, and maybe they didn't put it all together every single time in every single game, but they can for a stretch. They can for what is it? How many you got to win the national championship?
6 games. 6 games.
6-game stretch. Man, I would be nervous wreck seeing the Arkansas Razorbacks. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that. And that's why this is a big game on Thursday. It's going to be fun. Gwen Grovey, Tara's got us a good clip from Jonas Aidoo, the Razorbacks senior from Durham, North Carolina.
July, like middle of July, we doing summer workouts. I rolled my ankle, and next thing you know, I think I'm going to be back like next week, do a lot of treatment. But swelling was still there and all that stuff. So we got an X-ray. They found I had a stress fracture in my foot that I probably had for like quite some time and never knew. It was like a small little fracture and it could obviously get worse if I kept playing on it. And then I ended up getting an MRI. They seen like torn like ligaments in the ankle, all that stuff. I don't know all the extra words and stuff like that, but like torn ligaments. So they had to go in there, scope that stuff out, and then put a screw on my foot. So it was just crazy having to hear that, knowing like I knew my game would change coming from, Tennessee, like a structured program to where Kyle coached, more freelance type of sets. And I was trying to get my game to translate more to that. And then I was working on it. And then next thing you know, boom, I'm out. It's like 4 months. I'm not practicing, not doing nothing, just doing treatment, recovery, rehab, all that stuff. And then it was just tough. Like, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to redshirt. Like, that's like the first thing on my mind. Like, I might not even play this year. Like,
Yeah.
Kansas, I was supposed to play. Didn't play, not dressed out, like all this stuff. Like Troy, I had to play like 5 minutes because TB rolled his ankle. My foot was hurting. It was killing me. So it was like, man, I don't know like what I'm gonna do this year. Like, it's just hard. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So even after you got cleared to play, you're still in a significant amount of pain.
Yeah,
early on.
A lot of pain. Like, it just hurts. Like, movements. Like, it'd be fine for like a few minutes, and then it'd be like one little tweak, like one little step. It just flares up, and it's like I just can't go no more.
Quinn, thoughts on that?
I know. I've been there. I mean,
A lot of guys would have redshirted. He still could have redshirted, Quinn, because he had not used a red shirt at Tennessee.
Yeah, it's just like, man, when you have those injuries, and they can impact you in a lot of different ways, and not only physically but mentally. You go to the point where like, I know I can like beat this guy, but if I take this step, I know my foot is just really going to be screaming. And so that's a tough situation to be in. When he was talking, I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I feel your pain. When I had a separated shoulder, right shoulder, and coach would call that deep post pattern, and I'd be like, God, dog, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. But you go ahead and do it anyway. So man, that's kudos to him, man. He's fought through it. He's fought through a lot of stuff. I mean, people talking trash about him. I mean, the guy was great at Tennessee. He comes here and people are like, oh, he's terrible. He's this, he's that. And now he's starting to come along, and people are really starting to understand that he can make an impact.
Yeah.
All the stuff we went through this entire season, Z, is going to help you in a tough situation in a tournament. So I'm going to say everything we went through, even though we didn't go 30-0 like everybody wanted us to, I feel like what this team went through in regards to the musical chairs that they had to play with one another, I just think that this team is just a little bit more galvanized than what most people believe. And so I think I'm excited. I'm almost giddy when I talk about it. I'm a homer. There's no doubt. You're 10 times bigger homer than I am, but I am almost giddy to watch this team in a tournament, knowing that this group of guys, they have to win 6 games. Can they win 6 games against anybody in the country? Yes, sir. Yes, they can. So let's get it started.
Man, that's good stuff, and I appreciate his honesty. And I kind of knew, and I couldn't say stuff. I never heard in-depth stuff about redshirting. But I knew as a coach, when we were going through that October preseason stuff, going to Hot Springs and all the things at Pine Bluff, playing TCU, playing Kansas, he was not able to do anything. And you keep hearing it's going to be 2 more weeks, or maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and he was coming back slowly. You started thinking about it. Are they going to just hold him out?
Yeah, but for a guy like that, red shirt that's almost like a cuss word for a guy like that.
Right.
They don't want to spend another year if they don't have to. And so if they can do anything they can to get on that court. And so he took a lot of grief from fans. I mean, talking trash about him, and now they're starting to see it. And now it's going to pay off for this Arkansas basketball team. But when he said, I mean, normally, like when I came into college, red shirt, you're like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Red shirt, woo, let's do it. Nowadays, for these types of guys, boy, he's like, dang, I'm at the red shirt. You know, like,
Yeah.
you have to come back again and to go through this all over again. So I'm just glad he was able to fight through it. And I think the mental toughness on this basketball team is where you're going to see them in close games really be prepared for this tournament. Well, all right, Z and Tara, that's how we'll wrap up this edition of the Razorback Daily, a Sport and Story production. I'm Quinn Grovey alongside my man, Matt Zimmerman, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Cool.